All right, guys, please listen up and listen well, okay? Because I'm probably only going to go through this once, the way I'm about to do it right now, okay? All of you guys out there that are panicking about the crash in cryptocurrencies, you need to just stop and think about one thing, okay? And I'm referring to people who are fairly uneducated and inexperienced, because that's what this video is for, in trading. What you have historically done, statistically speaking, you have done the opposite of what you should have done on massive fucking trends over the decades. Doesn't matter if you're a newbie or if you're some 30-year veteran engineer at Lockheed. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how big your portfolio is. If you ever traded or bought something, most likely you did the opposite of what you should have done. Let me start, before I get to Ripple and Bitcoin, let me start with this chart, okay? Never mind the name. Don't worry about the company. Just look at the chart. Just look at the chart. Let's backtrack back to 1998. Absolute bubble, just skyrocketed. The internet bubble in the last, what, 2-3 years of that decade. Here we have this company that started at 123 on IPO in 97. We got to 110 in 2 years. Again, 123 to 110 in 2 years. Now, anybody that's been around for a while, guys, will tell you this, that this price action is simply not sustainable. It has to come down. It has to come down. But there are two things that you have to look at once it does come down. The first is the fundamentals. Is the project valid? Is the project promising in terms of technology, market, innovation, product, services, whatever the hell they're doing, doesn't matter, but is there hope for this project? That's the first thing. Second, you have to look at the charts. I actually look at the charts first, because the charts, I've studied charts more than anybody I know, okay? I've been trading for 10 years, guys. I know these things like the back of my hand, and I know a pattern when I see one. And I hope you don't get offended when I say this, but I guarantee you that anybody that's inexperienced that sees a stock go from 112 to about $5 within a year, I mean, just be honest with yourself. Would you have touched it? My guess is you would have stayed so far away from this that I mean, you wouldn't have touched it with a 20-foot pole. Let's be honest. Well, if the fundamentals are behind it, and if you know the tricks of the industry, because there's a reason you do the opposite of what you should do also, okay? There's misinformation out there. It's deliberate, okay? It's done intentionally to fool those who unfortunately don't know these things. But let me tell you something. The smart money, this is when they get in. Okay? So let's see what you would have missed out on. The company, by the way, is a little something that's called Amazon, but doesn't matter. Let's just look at the chart. This is what you would have missed out on. $5, 95% crash in 1 year. Okay? Will make most people shit their pants, and rightly so. But let's see. Let's see what happened. Just bear with me. $1,650. I put out a video, guys, about Bitcoin back in March, calling the bottom at 6,500. Just go check it out. I mean, it's out there on my channel. And I said one thing. I said, this little move, this little speck down here that you can barely see now in Amazon, I told you guys that longer term in Bitcoin as well as with some other currencies, you will barely be able to see what was back then an unbelievable crash. Because let's face it, this was, I mean, anybody was invested in this, and most likely because that's what the mass population does. They get in always late, okay? Most people here just got completely wiped, okay? And you can say, oh well, maybe you held on to it. Well, chances are you didn't, because you go counterintuitive to what you should do. You get in at the hype, like most people did with Bitcoin back in December, as it was reaching $20,000. You provide liquidity for the smart money to get out. That's all you do. They bring you into, they've been on the game since the beginning. They pump it up for you to come then in through media and through commercials and through propaganda. They need a new wave of money to come in so that provides liquidity for them to get out of their sell orders. It works like clockwork. I can't believe people still fall for this shit. But it's relatively simple, but it just happens to work. Okay? So, on a technical perspective, what I would have done here back then, of course, I didn't do shit because in 99 I was 16 years old, but this is what I would have done with what I would know now. The Fibonacci's, guys, don't lie. These are the natural harmonic waves of the market. This is how the markets move, okay? Now, it pulled back way more than it should have. That's the last level that I used, the 86, but that's fine. It still didn't break the first IPO low, okay? So essentially, it's a very extended still A, B, C, and the D retracement and target for this would have been my 127 and eventually 618. Well, let's see what happened. Let's see how accurate these are. Boom. Beautiful A, B, C. Yes, it stalled, but it never got lower. Never passed the C point. D, hit to the pip, pull back, and then just took off from there. Okay, and that the fundamentals then come into the picture when this happens. Okay, well, I don't know. Let's look at something else. If you're not convinced, I mean, I can do this all day. We just don't have time. I can do this all day. Okay, I've done my research. Here's another beauty. Same time frame, 48 cents. This is Apple, guys. 48 cents at the beginning of the bubble to the peak of the bubble, 533. That's, 1200%. That's 12 times your money, 13, whatever. Crashed unbelievably back down to 1, from 5.5 to 1. Okay, that's about 88% crash. Just be honest with yourself. What would you have done here? What would you have done here? Okay, assuming you don't know what you need to know, technically speaking. Well, I promise you wouldn't have touched it. It would have never occurred to the regular person to even consider putting a penny into this. Well, again, if the fundamentals are there and you're lucky enough to get a pullback like this, that you know it's only going to blow up long term with market share, with their products and services, well, let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. This is how you minimize risk. You get in. You get in, guys. You've got to get in when you're thinking about not getting in. You have to do the opposite of what comes natural, okay? Most people will get in at this stage because at cocktail parties, everybody's telling you back in the 90s, oh, we're making millions with internet stocks and blah, blah, blah. And you just don't want to miss that ride. So you get in at the top. Well, all you do is you play into the smart money's game. It's happened historically. It's a way for them to profit massively. And it's also a way, if you want to go a little deeper, to redistribute wealth. Okay? It happened in 2008 with the financial crisis. Okay? Hundreds of millions of people around the world just lost everything, while the banks got simply bailed out. Okay? They had that guarantee in their pocket. This happens systematically every decade in some asset. Okay, stock market, currencies, doesn't matter. Gold, doesn't matter. Well, we're talking cryptocurrencies right now. Well, let's see what happened with this. This is Apple. This is Apple before the iPad and iPod and iPhones. Okay, but again, if the technology was there, with what I know now, this is exactly what I would have gotten in at. And let's see if the theory holds the same with the retracement. Let's draw the fibs again. This looks like a 786. Okay, a little past it. So the natural target for this should be first 670 and 840. Okay, that's just the first target of this new ABCD leg. Let's see what happened. Okay, zoom right through that to then eventually, oh my God. Okay, let's just keep it simple. Let's just do this. So this is our crash that I was talking about. I don't need to tell you guys. So it went from $1 to $200. Now, stocks are a different beast. Okay, they're a different beast in cryptos because these are real world companies and they have taxes to deal with, they have employees to deal with, they have overhead, they have production costs, they have, market factors, strong, weak economies to play around. There's so many things working against it. Cryptocurrencies don't have any of that problem. Guys, regulation is the only thing that's keeping it from blowing up, and that'll be here very, very soon. There is an infrastructure being put together right now in the crypto world, okay, that 99.9% of the people out there have no clue that it's happening. Well, guys, I tell you again, and this has formed Apple stock. This has done a textbook, excuse me, textbook. Where is it? Here you go. Here's our famous Elliott wave. Guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just unbelievable. To have performed in this way, in this harmonic beat zigzag, textbook Fibonacci, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. There's typically two A, B, C, Ds, okay, within an Elliott wave impulse completion wave, okay? So there's, the Elliott wave theory counts them as, don't worry about this. This is just to show you guys how textbook this has worked from what, 2000, well, this was a crash in 2008, but the last 10 years, textbook, Fibonacci, harmonic beat, time pattern, candlestick formations, you name it, just textbook. If you were to teach anybody how to trade this specific strategy, all you got to do is pull up Apple's chart for the last 10 years. It's just unbelievable. Okay? So, with this in mind, and guys, I can go on and on. Let's see. IBM. Crash of 2001. From 140 to about, not as bad, but to about 50. Okay? So about 62%, 65%. What would you have done on this? Well, if it was me, I would have been licking my chops. Because a company like IBM, for it to come down 66% from the last AB wave, okay, the target for that should be around 215 to 220. Okay. Well, let's see what happened. This is 2008. 10 years later, guys, we're talking about a 10-year setup on a behemoth like IBM. Let's see if it followed. Let's see if the rule held true. Holy shit. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If this doesn't make you a believer, guys, hang on. A, B, 618 golden ratio, perfect textbook. Our D would have been right here. Why is that our D? It's our extension. It's our Fibonacci extension target. So that's where you get out. You buy the C, you get out of the D, because typically the D, what does it do? It pulls back. And where did it pull back to? Because it's forming now a new ABCD. Well, let's see where it pulled back to. A, B, because you got to draw the fibs again. Your last, remember, A, B, C, D. Your last C becomes A. Your last D becomes the B. Holy shit, man. I mean, to the fucking dollar at the 618 again, and then it bounced up again. So what IBM is essentially forming, remember I told you there's two A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D in the Elliott wave, Elliott impulse wave count of five waves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let me get to the point. Let me get to the subject at hand. With you knowing this, man, I'm telling you, I don't know how people don't see this. This, you are gonna regret. I'm telling you right now, you guys are gonna regret. Are gonna look back at 2018, and if you don't get in on what's about to happen in the next 2 to 5 years in cryptocurrencies, you are gonna regret it for the rest of your life. It's just, there's not a doubt in my mind. So with what I just explained to you, where do you think Bitcoin is headed? Let's go to the weekly chart. I put this is the video I put back in March. Go check it out. I said Bitcoin to 32 by the end of 2018. Why? Because just it was unbelievable to me as I was analyzing this, because it was a relatively new asset for me, you know, just a few months ago. But when I saw the time symmetry and the way it's pulled back and what it formed at that beautiful 618, it formed an unbelievable, this is as textbook as it gets. This is an unbelievable morning star Japanese candlestick formation. I know these, I mean, you know, like the back of my hand, because I you know, charting is what I do, technical analysis, okay? That's the main thing I go to first, believe it or not. Most people look at the fundamentals first and then look at the charts. I actually look at the charts first. And then if the fundamentals are there, which you have no idea how much the fundamentals are there. I'll get to that later. But if the fundamentals are there and you get this kind of setup, guys, listen, just listen to me. Take this for a gift, okay? This level may be blown, just completely blown. If the mania that I believe is about to come in does come in this year, we're there. It should be now, June, July. You are never gonna see these prices again. So my free gift to you, we're at $7,300, 32. That's roughly 480, almost five. Let's call it 35. Will be 5 times 450%. Here's my free gift to you just for watching this video. Okay, my subscribers are already in on most of these. Bitcoin, I have no doubt in my mind that Bitcoin is gonna hit at least 32,000. It is an unbelievably beautiful pullback. It's healthy. It's what we needed. Everybody's fucking panicking. Guys, you should be buying and not worrying. You should. I was hoping for this to come back, because I gotta be honest, last year's hype, I missed out on it. I just wasn't in on this. I knew very little, and I'm extremely educated, by the way, on this matter as of the last 6 months. I've gone in with both feet. I've done my due diligence, my research. This shit is here to stay, and it's gonna change the world. You are never ever, in my opinion, gonna see prices this low again. I thought the 76 might be hit at 42.5, but with this setup and with the type of bottom that is forming, it looks like it's gonna be a triple bottom, by the way. Okay, I think that's gonna materialize here in June. Oops, excuse me. With the bottom that is forming, let me close this, and the solid break of the counter downward trend line. This is our C point, guys. There's no doubt in my mind. This is our bottom. 65 is our bottom. And it bounced up, went to almost 10, came back. You have an unbelievable gift. Now it's 73, 7,200. Guys, you are never, in my opinion, going to see these prices again. Okay? This is the quiet before the storm. Okay? They're shaking out the last few numbnuts, the last few, I mean, you know, no offense, but this might include some of you guys, but that's what I'm here for. I'm here to educate you on this and tell you that this is actually when you should be buying instead of worrying, because I don't think you're gonna find these again at these prices. Okay, what happened last year, forget it. That was hype. There was retail money for the main part. There was some institutional money at the end that pumped it. Okay, it was a classic pump and dump, no doubt. I don't deny that. But what you got to look at is two things. If it's a scam, if the overall concept of Bitcoin and cryptos was a scam or a pyramid or anything like that, this pullback would not have stopped as it did here. Textbook by one of the strategies I trade the most, that I know the best. Okay? It would not have stopped and come down to it like it did here. This would have come back 90, 95% to maybe a few $100, $500, and not stall at an unbelievable 618 of the all-time ABC. Okay? And we're just carving out that bottom. Okay, guys, listen. It's up to you. 32,000 by year's end is my prediction for Bitcoin. Okay? It's up to you whether you want to hop in on it or not. But I'll tell you what. If you're afraid that maybe I'm wrong, I will say one thing. I mean, I'm wise enough to know that I've been trading for 10 years. I could be wrong. You never really know what happens. But we have ways of kind of calculating that and kind of backtest things, okay? In my opinion, I mean, there's so many things working here. So many things. Solid upward trend line. Very solid, healthy pullback. Carving out double bottom already, possibly a triple. The counter trend line, which is your cue to go up again, because the overall trend, I mean, unquestionably is up. Forget the pullback. The pullback is what we buy, but the overall is up. The A, B, C point is just being completed, and that's your fucking green light, guys. So my point is this. If I were to be wrong, I'll tell you what, it's a pretty fucking good level to be wrong at, because you're still getting Bitcoin at 35 cents on the dollar. It's pulled back 65, 70%, guys. Okay, this is how you trade. There's always risk. Could it go to the 786? I really doubt it. And I said it in my other video too. I absolutely doubt it. But I mean, it could happen. But you know what I'll be doing if it happens? I'll be buying a shit ton of it more than what I own now. I own a good chunk now, but I own much more of other coins, because over time Bitcoin is still gonna do great. Okay, in the report that I'm about to put out, you will not believe what my target is, and this has been done through algorithms. I've analyzed the charts longer term, and I will tell you in this report. I can't give you the number, obviously, but what my prediction is for Bitcoin within a couple of years, it's not in the millions. Not in a couple of years. It might get there eventually. I don't know. But it's not what John McAfee says and all those guys, okay? This is back-tested, proven strategies because I know how these markets work, whether they're in hype phase or they're just trending slowly over time. My number for Bitcoin is going to scare you, but what's going to scare you even more is my targets for some of these other altcoins, because over time Bitcoin is going to lose market share. It's going to lose. It's not going to be 35-40% of the market cap. It's not, I promise you. Okay, more and more exchanges are going to be using direct deposits with fiat money. You're going to be able to buy other altcoins. You don't need to buy fucking Bitcoin anymore. You won't be able to anyway soon. You won't be you won't be necessary soon to buy Bitcoin to then buy other altcoins, because two main reasons Bitcoin is so massive is, first, there's so few of them, so limited supply. Okay, it's just simple economics. High demand, lack of supply. That's why we're at fucking $7,000-8,000. But the other factor is that the functionality of Bitcoin so far has been, if you want to buy any other altcoins, you have to buy Bitcoin first. So it's got the purchasing power mechanism. Now, I think it's going to end up at about 20% of the market cap. And my market cap, you'll see in the report, it's in the trillions very soon. If you don't believe it, you're just going to have to get the report and check it out. Okay? But I have a few coins there that realistically, with the new wave of institutional money that's about to come in, okay, all the signs are there. It's coming. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's coming. There's coins that I personally either want to buy or have already bought, easily 300 times from where they're at right now. Easy. Okay? So, guys, keep your ear to the grindstone. You don't look at the media. Please do me a favor. Get out of YouTube. I know this is on YouTube, but unfortunately, it's the only way I can put it out there. But stay out of fucking YouTube for the most part. There's a few you should listen to. 98% of them are full of shit. If you really expect to get true value from a 16-year-old analyzing charts on YouTube and just quoting some article he just read to you on fundamental analysis, you're going to be in for a surprise, and it's not going to be a good one. Okay? Stop doing that. Get out of these fucking blogs. Okay? Listen to people who have done this for a long time, myself included. And I'm just going to tell you this. I knew back in November, I remember I was talking to a couple of friends of mine that we kind of trade together on a lot of things. We just kind of piggyback off each other and exchange ideas. Well, we had a conversation together, and we just started laughing. The moment they announced that they were going to introduce futures for Bitcoin, we laughed our asses off, because we've seen this before. We knew two things were going to happen. First, there's going to be a massive crash, because with futures, now there's short selling involved. And sure enough, we got it 2 months later. The second thing we knew, which is really what matters though, is that institutional money is about to fucking flood the market. Guys, if Bitcoin went from $400 to 20,000 just with primarily retail money, okay, retail investors' money, a market cap of 200 billion went to almost $1 trillion within a year. Can you imagine what happens once hedge funds and money managers and institutional investors start buying here? You are not. This 32,000 is it's conservative in my opinion. Like I said, you'll see what my number is. If you get the report, you'll see what my number is. I'm gonna have 10 coins in there that I have absolutely no doubt. I've done the math. That $5,000 to $10,000, depending on where you put it and how you allocate it, but $5,000 to $10,000 into those coins. I've done the math. The math numbers don't lie. It's gonna make you guys. I have every sign that I could possibly have. I'm in with both feet personally. You can do whatever you want. I have never seen anything like this, but that's gonna make you guys millionaires. The times of getting stuff at 0.0005 pennies to 30 cents, those times are gone. Okay, that happened last year. Good for the guy. Good for them. For whoever got in, that's great. But those days are gone. But the new bull run, the major bull run, you guys have seen nothing yet. It's really about to start. Okay, because where this will be over time. Okay, I can't really go much higher because it's part of my report. But where these top coins, okay, now it's about real world utility. Most of these coins won't be around 5 years from now. You got to go with the best of the best. They have the best technologies, the best platforms, the best ledgers, okay, and who are actually who are solving real world issues, okay. That's the ones you're gonna have to go with. So once we have those fundamentals in place, and as an industry as a whole, then you narrow it down technically on the charts, and I will give you exactly what I think is gonna happen and where they're gonna go, medium term and long term. Okay, so stay tuned for that. It's coming up, but like I said, one free gift from me right now. It's May 30th, 2018. It's 11 o'clock at night here in Texas, Central Standard Time. You can do whatever you want, obviously. I hope you're big enough boys to realize that it's really on you. Okay, you don't have to listen to anybody. But my honest prediction, my honest opinion right now, and it won't get much lower, in my opinion. It won't get much lower than what we're at right now. I said buy you some Bitcoins. It's at $7,400, and I am pretty certain that we're hitting at least 32,000 by the end of this year. But if that mania gets in, if that kind of big money comes into the market, well, guys, the algorithms don't lie. I didn't go into algorithms here. I went through simple Fibonacci setups, but the algorithms, you won't fucking believe where Bitcoin could go within a year, if not less. If what I think is about to happen happens in midsummer to end of summer, you are not gonna believe. If you thought this shit was parabolic last year, you guys have seen nothing yet. Okay, so just stay tuned for that report, guys. If you really want a chance, in my opinion, at catapulting yourself financially in the next 2 to 3 years, I don't think there's a better asset right now it's gonna be disruptive to virtually everything we do, technology wise, in this world today. This shit's gonna be bigger than internet, guys. Way bigger than the internet, because internet was essentially a way of facilitating communication and information exchanges. What the blockchain is doing, it's gonna revolutionize every aspect of today's world, from payment, from banking, education, military, you fucking name it. The open source technology of blockchain is going to change the world. And you have an opportunity right now. Forget the hype last year, okay? You never knew when that was going to end. But now, after the crash, this is the big test time. This is the big test phase, okay? That's what happens. Hype, crash, and then you have to decide whether it's time to get in or not. The smart money gets in here. That's why we need regulation, unlike what YouTube idiots tell you. We need regulation because these fucking hedge funds will not come in unless they know they're covered. That's the only thing that's going to make them dump trillions of dollars into this in the next year or two. They want to make sure they're covered. And they're passing that regulation behind closed doors as we speak. It's happening. Guys, all the signs are there. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, I say Bitcoin by end of the year, $32,000. I hope you enjoyed it, and like it, share the video, and stay tuned for the report. hopefully it'll come up in the next week or so, guys. All right. Thank you.